Mixed Tag Show.
The Mixed Tag Show.
With Jenna and Blue.
Damn.
Now, here's your host, Jenna and Blue Magic.
What's going
I was
on?
supposed to start off.
It's the Mixed Tag
I was
Show.
supposed to start off.
No, this is an
Because
odds number.
last week I was supposed to start off, but since we didn't do it, so this is still an even number.
You sure?
I'm very certain.
Did-
Positive.
So
Very
why-
positive.
So why did you say you'll do the notes this week if it was an evens number?
Well, technically I did the notes last week. But, so technically you're supposed to do the notes this week, but I know you had a lot going on, so I was being a good tag team partner.
I thought we decided.
Yes, but the point is what I'm trying to tell you is that I'm being...
I'm trying to, okay.
You know, you...
Well, I'm trying to make sure we're on the same page here.
All right, go ahead, talk.
Even episodes or yours? When there's an even episode, you do the notes.
So is this not an even episode?
I thought it was an odd number because you told me that I was supposed to do the notes. That's what I'm saying.
Well, technically, you were supposed to do the notes, okay?
But it's an even number.
That doesn't mean anything.
It's that we gotta
Every
keep it
other
together.
week.
All right, let's start over. Hold on, put the applause for you.
What's up? You're listening and watching the Mixed Tag Show with
Jenna and
Blue. Hey.
hey,
What's Gucci?
what's going on?
What's popping? Keep me in the loop? What's
Hey,
going
hey,
on?
hey, what's happening? How was your week?
My week was good. You know, I don't really have. I won $10 on a scratch off, so
I
Rich-
think you sent
Rich
me the,
Jenna.
Did you send me the right notes?
yeah. Why?
Okay.
Why? Because it says shout out to someone.
That and the predictions, but we'll get to that. Yeah.
Well, I just didn't change that part. I meant to put results, but
Okay.
it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay, good.
I just copied and pasted.
Okay, cool.
Anyway, but yes, I won $10 off a scratch off, so that was my week was good. Thank you. And then also a fly jacket.
I see that.
You know, gotta rep our favorite.
Of course, I had a very amazing week.
Yes. So, you know.
Yeah.
What about you?
My week was all right. Had a very bad week last week.
Yes.
If you follow me on Instagram, you know why. But then it was made up over the weekend for the most part, I guess. Well, cheered up, I guess you could say.
Did I help a little bit?
Did you?
Never mind. It's okay.
I mean, I guess. It's always nice talking to you because you're my tag team partner.
Okay, just.
But
I feel like I'm losing you.
no, but like this weekend I went to my son's birthday thing at the water park and stuff like that. So we had fun out there, and then
Water park, isn't it cold?
it's an indoor water park.
Okay.
I didn't expect it to be that way either.
Okay. Well, listen, that sounds like fun.
It was.
Where was my invite?
It was a kids party. My parents didn't come. Like it was just literally me, his mom, and kids.
Okay. Well, all right. No, that's fine. It's cool. It's whatever.
And then enjoyed my weekend. It was one of those.
And enjoy your weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm losing you a little bit.
Why are you losing me?
Anyway, yes, a shout out to cause you were a little confused, but shout
Yeah,
out.
I said last week. I'm like, wait, is this the right note?
Shout out to TKL. Not last week, but the week before he joined us.
Right.
Was a special guest. And he did the little skit with us, the Eddie Guerrero skit. So shout out to you, TKL, for coming through
Definitely.
and showing us love all the time.
Yeah, and also for getting me in trouble.
Yeah, well, what's new?
You get me in trouble.
Anyway, shout out to the WWE shop. You got the NWO hoodie.
It's cold outside. It's snowing. I almost didn't make it here.
It's not really snowing anymore. It was snowing, but
I almost didn't make it.
yeah, well, you're here, so you're over-exaggerating. I'm wearing this Boston Hug. You know, because the new tag team champions, you got to represent. Wait, stop it. What are you doing? You keep doing it. They, like... Anyway, if you want this fly merch, not this fly merch. This is actually
Limited edition.
yes. If you live in New York City, it's at Foot Locker. I'm giving Chalkline free promo, but whatever.
Nah, B. Who got? I mean,
Chalkline. I'm wearing this Chalkline
I
jacket.
don't know.
So.
They not cutting no checks.
Actually, no one's really cutting. Okay, anyway.
Yes, they are. WWE Shop hooking this up.
Yes, okay. Shout out to with that said, shout out to WWE Shop. If you head on over to our Instagram, at the Mixed Tag Show,
right,
or at our personal social media at
the Mixed Tag Show.
I said that already. I said
personal. I just called it after I said the Mixed Tag Show. Blue Magic Grind.
You've been gone for a week. He's trying to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blue Magic Grind, Spill Tie Sound, or you can catch her at.
Who's her? You mean?
Her at.
Okay. At Miss Jenna, baby. BAYBEE. The link is in our link tree.
Yes.
Right? You can go there, give us some coins, get your wrestling merch, your titles, your shirts. I think they're having a sale on shirts and titles. So definitely check them out. If you're not on Instagram or social media and you like to watch us on YouTube, the link is in the description. Boop, boop, boop. Click on it. Give us some coins. We're struggling out here.
Definitely. And also,
we're struggling.
Make sure you get on it with On It.
Ah, good
See
for
what I did
you.
there?
On it, get your workout going. You got your apparel, your merch, right? Your supplements to help fuel your workouts.
Make sure you use the discount code TMTS.
Yes, you guys are wrestling fans, right? A lot of you aspire to be wrestling fans. What better way than to rock some On It gear?
Get on it.
Yeah.
Get on it with On It. Don't steal my tagline.
Oh, we gotta say it now.
I want to check for
get
that.
Get on it with On It.
I want to check for that one. Where's my? Here you go.
Yeah.
I want my check for that one. Don't be using it.
You are. Listen, sometimes you're not on it, but you're on it right now.
Exactly. But don't forget, collar and elbow.
Boom.
Wrestling meets street fashion.
Yes.
You get some nice gear there as well. Shout out to Al Snow.
Yes.
Who runs that, right?
Yes.
About? Use our discount code as well, TMTS. Very simple. The Mixed Tag Show. First letters of each word.
Yes. Boom, boom, boom.
And we're in there.
This it. So what's next?
Now we move on to... Let's pass it over to Gina with this week's drafts.
All right, Blue. So looks like this
she
week...
called me Blue. Oh, stop. You being nice. I like that. I did have a hard week.
Anyway, Tom, so this week we have mixed emotions.
Yeah.
In the lead this week with 290.5 points. Up next, we have Knight Riders with 269 points.
Yep.
Was no applause for Knight Riders?
No, he's not first place.
Yikes.
Only first place get applause.
I try to have your back, Astro. The Nation of McFly Nation.
She got a point. Say that.
Craig.
You ain't got to lie, Craig. We got to get that job for him. You ain't got to lie,
You ain't got to lie, Craig. Had 109 points this week. And the McMahon Regime 2.0. This now is
it just gets bad.
Right, it just tails off. The McMahon Regime 2.0 has a negative 9.5 points. Then we have Undisputed Art Era, negative 29.5 points.
It gets bad and worse.
And then last, the Favorite Posers X3, negative 61 points. So in the lead. So in the lead this week, in overall, Mixed Emotions said 650 points. Up next, we have Astro and Knight Riders with 519 points. Third place, the Nation of McFly Nation, 276.6 points. Then we have Undisputed Art Era with 215 points. The McMahon Regime with 102 points.
That just flipped my mind. Other week, what'd you just do?
I know. I'm getting used to a lot of the names and stuff like that. Still, the fourth week or whatever. Yeah. And damn, I feel bad for this. The Favorite Posers is in 6th place. That's last place. With negative 78.64 points.
And the Mixed Tag
64
Show
points.
Fantasy Draft.
History.
Negative.
I want people to hear that.
After 4 weeks.
Negative 78.64 points. Remember when Kevin was trolling last season? He just picked whatever. He wasn't even this bad.
Exactly. How? How in the world? gotta see.
You
I
gotta
gotta look at his
his-
roster again, man. I gotta figure out what's going
You
on.
might have to give him like something to break even because my guy,
Oh man.
son, you dead ass.
So let's go over to our elimination,
I felt like I was.
and that's the end of the draft.
I felt a little like let me relax a little bit. Get
feel uptight?
comfortable. A little bit. I was uptight.
Make sure you stay in the camera frame though.
Am I still in camera?
You gotta look at the little screen. It tells
I
you.
can't really see from.
Oh, okay.
Am I still in camera?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It is about me.
Right. Moving on to
It is about me.
Elimination
People want to
Chamber
see me. Damn it.
results.
Not predictions, but results.
Results.
So we had first up in the kickoff show, Cruiserweight Championship, Akira Tozawa versus Buddy Murphy. Buddy Murphy retains.
I missed that.
It was a really good match. Sucks that they always put the cruiserweights on the kickoff.
I do. I hate that.
You know what I mean? And like
I
the
don't be feeling
arena.
like, honestly, I just don't feel like fast forwarding through all the talking just to get to the match. I know it's very lazy of me,
Yeah.
but it's just like
Yeah, I mean, it again though. It just sucks for the simple fact that like
it's a title.
it's not. It's not that. It's that the arena is not full, right?
Right.
You can see all the empty chairs behind them.
Uh,
And a lot of people aren't really invested, or when they are at the actual pay per view and they see and they're like, oh, they're mad shook. And it's like, yeah, they do this pretty often.
yeah, 205 Live is getting a bad rep right now.
Yes. But on the actual main card, right?
Yeah, Elimination Chamber Women's Tag Team Championship match. Would you like to do the honors on this one?
I would, actually.
Go ahead.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Good.
So, for the inaugural Women's Tag Team Championship, we have Boston Hug, the Boston Hug Connection versus Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, a.k.a. Fire and Desire, versus the Iconics, versus the Riot Squad, versus Carmella and Naomi, a.k.a. Fabulous Glow, versus Nia Jax and Tamina. I don't think they have a name. They're just Nia Jax and Tamina.
They like, screw all that. We don't need that.
Samoans, I don't know. And Sonya Deville taps out to Sasha Banks' crazy bank statement. I don't know what
It was a modified version
of
the
bank statement, which was very, very awesome. Taps out. Sasha and Bayley become the first ever women's tag team champions.
Finally, we got something that we want. Even though I was like, they're gonna swerve us maybe. And I was like,
Man, because when Mandy hit her move,
yeah,
I was like, they're gonna do this.
it was a pretty good match too, for the most part. In my opinion.
No, it was. I remember reading somewhere that it was actually supposed to main event, but they flipped it like last minute. But yeah, it was a really, really good match. I was very invested. I lost my voice for a couple of days just because I was like, yeah.
I was like, what the heck happened to your voice?
Well, obviously, I'm a mark. Anyway, but
Moving on.
well, no, but even before we even move on,
Oh,
but
my
did
bad.
you peep the storytelling between Sasha and Bayley? You missed it. Went over yet. Remember last year, right?
Oh yeah. But to me, it didn't make no sense because
How?
y'all on teams now. Last year, y'all wasn't on teams. Every woman for themselves.
So how does that not make sense?
Because why would Sasha kick her off the cage this time?
No, but I'm saying the storytelling of their friendship.
Oh.
Like, obviously,
They rekindle back into Elimination
they're
Chamber.
like they had a really crazy year last year, right? And
No,
up
the
and
reason
down.
Okay, go ahead.
And then they're on the pod again, and Sasha helps her up, and then Bayley falls, and Sasha goes to get her and check on her. That's storytelling.
I guess it's a full circle in that stance, but in the match, like the way they were selling it, like you know how Corey Graves get, like, oh, he's gonna kick
He's
her.
annoying.
I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? They're tag team. What? Why would she do that now? I think that's why I just like discarded it. Like whatever. Like we're moving on. Like that didn't even make sense for you to even say anything like that.
Yeah, I don't know. He's annoying at this point. Like Vince is doing too much feeding that stuff in his ear.
I guess.
Or I don't know. Whatever. But moving on. Go ahead. It's your brand.
Moving on. SmackDown Tag Team Championship. The Usos versus Shane McMahon and The Miz. The Usos gain the titles away from Shane McMahon and The Miz to become new SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions.
Yep.
That's fine.
Handicap Intercontinental Championship match versus Finn Balor versus the champion Bobby Lashley and Leo Rush. The Demon King. Well, not the Demon King. Finn Balor. Finally.
Balor Club.
Finally wins his second title on the main roster and defeats Lio Rush and Bobby Lashley. What did you think of that?
I wasn't a fan of that.
Why?
Because, first of all, he didn't pin the actual champion. He pinned his manager.
Okay.
Second of all, it just is a cheap way to give Balor the title. I felt like if you're going to really legitimize him as a potential threat, let him pin Bobby straight up.
Yeah, but
but
Leo's been a thorn. Excuse me, has been a thorn in Bob.
He was kicking me.
Move your feet.
He was kicking me.
Move your feet.
I'm tall. I need leg room.
Whoa, where am I supposed to? Where am
You're
I
not that
supposed
tall.
to? Where am I supposed to like? Anyway, Leo's been a thorn in Finn's behind.
And he got his revenge last Monday.
He got his revenge at Elimination Chamber. He won. This is what the people want. People want to see Sasha and Bayley win. People want to see Finn Balor win. They finally got titles. I liked it. I was happy.
Oh, moving on with the Raw's Women's Championship. Ruby Riott versus Ronda Rousey. This match was like...
See, here's my problem. The thing... Seeing Becky was cool. You know, Becky 316, that was fine. Charlotte, whatever. My thing is, and I guess we'll discuss it for Raw, but you really just made Ruby look stupid.
Because it was like basically, I didn't even get
a squash.
It was a squash. I didn't really get a chance to look at it.
Because it was a squash. It was nothing. It was legit nothing to see. I just don't understand. Like, I understand some people are supposed to be book dominant and what have you, but it's just like,
this is too much.
It's not even that it's too much, but you made Ruby look stupid.
But that's my point. This is too much. Like, she ran through 4 horsemen for the most part. You make her run through the Riot Squad. You made her dominate the entire Riot Squad at this point, right?
Yeah.
Like, so their whole life of being wrestlers didn't mean nothing.
Listen, I don't know, but I was really disappointed that they let Ruby look that weak.
And we've always said Ruby could be a real potential threat to become champion in the future.
We'll definitely discuss it on Raw about the match again at Raw. But yeah, like I was annoyed that I looked away. The match is over, and then I see Charlotte and Ronda and then Becky coming out. That was cool. That was that whole interaction, what have you. But that was messed up what they did to Ruby. But moving forward, Braun Strowman versus Baron Corbin. Corbin defeats Strowman with the help of Lashley and McIntyre.
That just happened on cue, and I'm not mad at it.
What?
I yawned when you was reading it.
Oh. I was like, I thought you meant the match. I'm like,
no,
what?
I was yawning while you said that.
I wish I caught that.
Yeah, no.
But anyway, the main event. Elimination Chamber WWE Championship match. This was fire.
This was fire. I'm glad. As much as I love the women's tag team match.
Yes. That's what
this was a good choice.
Exactly.
This is a good choice to close out.
Because you know how I am. Why the women main event? Wah, 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 wah.
Right.
And I was at first going to be tight. But the men did their thing.
Yeah, like this is a very great match.
Was fire.
It wasn't very as predictable per se.
Okay.
I mean, like people predicted it for Dan Bryan to come out, of course. What I mean is that you had some doubt. You had at least one doubt in the match at one point. No.
No, I mean I always knew Dane was gonna win. I really.
You never know it for a second. Like, why are they gonna throw us a curve right now? Not once. I did.
Well, who did you think would have won? Not Kofi.
I felt like Kofi had a chance when he hit Trouble in Paradise, and when he hit that.
No, but I mean, you mean going into the match?
No. I'm talking about as the match was going on.
Oh yeah, I mean that was the expense was dope.
And even like with AJ and Randy, it's just like at one point you just feel like
the suspense, yeah.
It was like, all right, maybe DB don't walk out of this. The only person that I felt bad for was Samoa Joe.
I mean, but it's the same story every week, every pay-per-view. He talks like mad trash on the mic and is
He's
dope,
the first one out.
and it's just he looks weak. But besides that, Kofi Kingston, like he's been the MVP the past 3 weeks, and it's just a reminder of how great of a wrestler he can be. Especially, I felt like right before he got into New Day, I couldn't stand Kofi, to be quite honest with you. Like, his character. As a wrestler, great.
Right.
But I thought it was just something very, very
Happy-go-lucky.
cheesy. Yeah, it's the same thing like what they do with Apollo and the same thing with Cedric Alexander. Like, there's no edge, right? With New Day, you see more personality, and then you put it together with his ability.
Right.
But now that gets lost in the shuffle because he's been in a tag team since, 2000 and I don't even know when. Because they got their second title in 2000.
I'll fact check. Go ahead. I got it.
Anyway, but yeah, like everything came together, right? And that match was amazing, especially between Daniel and Kofi.
Yeah, them closing out and false finishes and
that was an amazing match. And
even Randy's RKO to AJ
was fire too. That was actually one of my favorite finishes. Like, say what you want about
5
Randy.
years. This July.
Okay, so there you go. So it's
July 21st is 5 years for them.
So they've been together for a while. So his talent, I think all of their talent actually gets lost in the shuffle. But besides all of that, how did you rate Elimination Chamber?
I gave it a B. The only thing I really did, again, I didn't like the way that Finn won the title. Even though the match was cool, and then the whole Braun Strowman and Corbin thing could have been done without. But other than that, I enjoyed the pay-per-view.
Okay.
What about you?
I gave it a B as well. I enjoyed most of the matches except for Baron Corbin and Braun Strowman and the whole Ruby and Ronda thing. Other than that, I thought they did a really good job with the pay-per-view, and it looks like the viewers rate the same thing.
B.
Le B.
Let's move on to your show.
All right.
I had a pretty good week.
Pretty good week. Okay. Thank you. Anyway, so we have some surprises. We have some NXT call-ups.
I feel like those are presentations.
Okay,
NXT presentations. Like, this is what we do down here, guys.
Okay.
In case y'all want to tune in.
Okay, so I'm going to lump this all together in regards to, Ricochet. So we have Ricochet. Well, I can't say got called up, but Ricochet made his debut. Aleister Black made his debut. And DIY.
Nope. Tommaso Ciampa. And
DIY.
and Johnny Gargano.
DIY. Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano made their main roster debuts.
Yep.
In very good matches.
In very good matches, Ricochet teamed up with Finn Balor.
Well, besides getting into all the matches and what have you, the only thing that really kind of I didn't care for, even though he had a good showing, was Aleister Black versus Elias.
Yeah.
That was really, really random.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to do with Elias. I think...
Time for Elias to take a walk.
Seriously, because they're not... I mean, I don't know if that's the running gag. Obviously, just them interrupting and not letting
that's
him...
That's the gag now.
But it's corny. You're just making him look stupid. Right? And that's funny because I remember, I think sometime last year, they were like, Vince McMahon is high on Elias. I'm like, well, that's how you show it? But
even though, why?
Well, I mean, I like the Drifter gimmick. I thought that was funny.
Right.
Legit, just randomly
showing
up at different places. But give him something to do.
Yeah, then he started doing concerts. And then his in-ring abilities never really grew. I don't know what his finisher is. I know it's called the Drifter or Drifting Away or something like that.
I mean, I don't really ever recall Elias match, to be quite honest with you. Anyway, well, besides, that's not really the point. The
presentations
guys,
was pretty good.
The only thing, here's in general, the whole Raw, the crowd was terrible.
They were.
It's like
crickets.
But you'll be the same people on social media complaining about the product being trash. Legit, that was it.
While I'm at home popping at this,
yeah.
I'm getting text messages.
I had dozed off because I was just really, really tired.
Right.
And when Ricochet's music came on, I jumped oh, this is Ricochet.
Yeah.
And Finn Balor.
Yeah.
All the stuff that they were doing, no one popped for that.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand, maybe the general audience might not watch NXT, maybe marks and hardcore fans do, but that was a great showing.
Not only that, but that was the tone for the entire night, was the crowd just...
Yeah, and it sucks because it takes away from a really good show.
Right.
Because now if the crowd was hot...
Yeah.
Maybe we would have rated it, higher than what we did, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? All of that comes into play. They popped for Boston Hug, but it was a very...
Somehow I missed that.
You missed the pop or just missed their thing?
I missed their entire segment.
Oh.
I think I know what it was. I was traveling back from the store.
Okay.
And that's what happened.
Yeah, well, Boston Hug came out, obviously. They celebrated their being the first ever women's tag team champions. I was reading... There was... You'd have to get Bayley's thing so you can't keep just doing it.
Boss time!
Okay. On that note, there was a couple of things that I noticed. I don't know if, well, you didn't see it, but there was a graphic, right? When, you know how when their names come up? The graphic said Raw Women's Tag Team Champions. I was like, that's weird. But in their promo, right, they basically was saying how they, all the stuff that they went through, they did it together, blah, 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 whatever. And then Sasha said it doesn't matter. I'm paraphrasing what she said, but we defended on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, which is something that you were saying, right?
So why wasn't NXT involved in the Elimination Chamber?
I don't know. But see, this is the inconsistencies.
Right, like.
The inconsistencies because it's like, okay, no one from NXT showed up, 1, 2, and then again, the graphic said Raw Women's Tag Team Champions. So I don't know what's the plan. What's the idea for that? But it was a feel-good story, obviously. A lot of people were kind of getting on Bayley's. I missed it because I had stepped away for a second. And apparently her promo, like her speaking on the mic, struggled.
I guess because, sometimes you don't have crowd participation with them.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's just always been the thing, how people feel about Bayley. I don't know, but in general,
it's not fair. She saved Ronda like 2 weeks ago.
That's what I'm saying. Like people are so fickle.
Yeah.
Fickle.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like, and I think you're right. The crowd maybe had a lot to do with it, that they were, but whatever. And then Nia Jax and Tamina came out, and I'm like, okay. I really wanted them to show up on SmackDown and maybe like the Iconics or someone like challenge them, but not Nia Jax and Tamina.
Yeah, step away from the Raw brand. We've seen you enough on Raw.
That, and it's just like, why are we still pushing Nia Jax?
You just don't like her.
It's not, it's not that I don't necessarily like her, but you had it was all cool, whatever, in 2018.
Right.
Now it's time to
showcase
other people. I mean, I would like to see Tamina more, but I don't know. Whatever, but they
stop hating on Tamina, people. I'll be hating on Tamina a little bit too much.
I don't know, whatever. But with that said, they attacked them, whatever, and Boston Hug overcame that. In the main event, Ronda Rousey versus Ruby Riott.
What a surprise.
So my issue with this is now you let her showcase and them actually have a match. What was the point? That should have been the case at Elimination Chamber.
Right.
And then this week, then on Raw, she squashed her, and then Becky and Charlotte come out. You made her look stupid for Elimination Chamber. What was this?
It should never be a squash of Ruby. I'm sorry.
But if that's what you plan on doing,
it should never be the case.
I understand, but if that's the way you're going, you did it on a pay-per-view, and then just to come, like, for what? Like, we don't believe you, right?
Yeah.
Like, we don't believe now Ruby can defeat her. Yeah, she had the rest of the Riott Squad in her corner, and they helped out a little bit, but ultimately, we don't believe you. It was stupid. And then for it to end like that, like there was no suspense or anything, and then it wasn't even Ronda celebrating, it was just like this, like that look she gives. It was just like, okay, it was mad awkward.
Yeah. Real quick, shout out to Riott Squad too. They did their thing in the Elimination Chamber match. I forgot to point that out.
I mean, everyone did.
Yeah, but
Liv and Sarah, they did that
dive off the
the pod. Yeah.
And then this girl tried to do a dive on Raw, and it was not.
Anyway,
that's your girl.
I'm wearing who I rep. Anyway, how did you rate Raw?
A B+. The NXT presentations really helped them out.
Yes.
So, and then I didn't get to see Boston Hug, but yeah, NXT call-ups really helped them out, and it made the show fresh.
Yeah.
Just to see the DIY versus Revival again, that was like
Tommaso versus Johnny. Tommaso and Johnny, not DIY.
DIY. They called him DIY.
So then why did you correct me when I said it earlier?
I was messing with you.
The funny thing is, I didn't even put Well, because I lumped it all together. But yeah, that match between the Revival and them
Always classics.
was fire.
Always classics.
Fire. And if this is what, if we're really bringing back the tag team division, this is something to look forward in the future. That match was fire. The crowd popped for that. Not popped because they were just trash.
Yeah, they actually, they at least gave us a golf clap.
Maybe a little bit more than a golf clap. But yeah, that match was fire. I don't know. I understand that the NXT call-ups have to win.
Yeah.
But I felt like the Revival just won the tag team titles. Why would they lose?
There's a backstory between them. They're like ping pongs.
Anyway, on to your show.
Wait, no. What did you rate Raw?
Oh, I'm sorry. I gave it a B+ as well.
And the people gave it a B.
Boom.
Look at y'all.
Yes.
Off to my show, SmackDown Live.
So just to before you really get, I didn't put the NXT stuff there because it was legit the same thing, right?
Repetitive.
Yeah. So.
No, but yeah. I like the
I mean every match was fire.
DIY match with the bar.
With the bar was fire. Andrade and
the fight for Zelina.
Exactly. That was cool. And then Ricochet versus who was it? Eric Young?
Yeah. Finally we got to see Sanity.
Yeah, but that was random. Just Eric.
But Sanity was at ringside.
I
without
understand.
Nikki Cross, which sucks.
I understand, but then it should have been but whatever.
Anyway. I guess they want to put Ricochet in another tag team match.
Okay, but then there's other people that he could have faced.
Who? SmackDown is very thin.
I mean, put two face. Well, we'll talk
Rey
about
Mysterio?
it later. I was saying Ray, but we'll talk about that in Hot Topics.
Okay. Well, SmackDown Live, we got a rare sighting from
The
Asuka,
women's champion.
who I haven't seen in 3 weeks.
Crazy.
And she lost to Mandy Rose.
I just don't understand.
I don't get it.
Every time we hear in the dirt sheets, Vince is high on someone, and then we see that he's on someone, and then
I guess he's more high on Mandy Rose.
I don't know. And then we had. What did you think of that? Because then Lacey appeared too. I mean,
Lacey appeared on the Elimination Chamber match, and that didn't make sense. I'm starting to get lost on what she's supposed to really be doing.
It's funny to me. Like I said, I think I'm gonna start really being a fan.
She's just popping up randomly and walking around.
I don't know.
Anyway, yeah, I didn't like that match so much because again, Asuka loses.
Mm-hmm.
What? She's the women's champ. I guess they're trying to set up for Fastlane. Whatever.
Well, I mean, you're gonna have to pick up an opponent. There's legit no one, right?
Yes, there is. There's plenty of options.
Who? That's a heel.
Does it have to be a heel? They've been doing face versus face for a while.
But
she's not ready.
Ultimately, it's you're gonna have a heel.
Sonya Deville is more ready than she is.
But we already saw that they were trying to build up Mandy and even Lacey Evans too.
I get that, but you said who else could it have been? Could have been Sonya Deville. She's more ready. My opinion.
I think Sonya, she still needs a little bit more work. Not to say that Mandy doesn't need a little bit more work, but the push has been with Mandy.
Do you forget that moment that Asuka and Sonya had in the middle of the ring and they had their little exchange? The crowd went for it.
I mean, in
they
regards
have
to
chemistry.
I mean, in regards to character development.
But they don't let her talk. They let Mandy talk all the time.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If at this point, logically, it makes more sense for Mandy because she's a heel. They've been kind of building her up these past few weeks, whereas Sonya's been more so in the background. Main event.
This was fire.
That was fire. Your man Kofi. Kofi's out here killing it. What, 3 weeks, right?
2, 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Showing some Black History Month love.
3 weeks, 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Black History Month.
Yeah. Showing some love.
Yeah, so that his showing gave him a championship match at Fastlane.
Shout out to Kofi, too. He hit Randy with the stupid.
Yeah.
He hit with his own stupid during the match.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. What about you?
I'm excited for it as well. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get what we want. But it's nice to see.
Man, Kofi, the first would be the first. Listen,
I
know that's not gonna happen, but I'm just saying.
And I hope this doesn't turn into a New Day turn on him.
Well, you know what? And I didn't put this in the Hot Topics, but I saw that this might maybe lead to a breakup between them.
Yeah, I heard they're gonna turn on Kofi.
I don't know, and I felt that way because at the Elimination Chamber, right? Because the pay-per-view is starting to end a little bit earlier than like at 11, right? And then when they were helping him, and I'm like, are they gonna do a DIY thing? But they didn't. So I don't know. I'm sensing it.
I think it's gonna be like a year-long thing. Honestly, they gonna draw this.
It's a great story, though. I mean, they've been together. I mean, how long are they supposed to be together for? Right?
It's been 5 years.
Yeah, so you gotta spread your wings a little bit. Anyway, on that note, how did you rate it?
I gave it an A.
I gave it an A too.
And the people gave it A-.
It's a good week in WWE, I think.
It was a good week.
Finally.
Yeah, finally. Both shows did very well.
Yeah. Not even just both shows, but
the pay-per-view did well as well.
NXT was cool.
I didn't see NXT.
You did.
Oh, yeah. I just saw that one match though.
Yeah, it was a good match.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Listen, we'll move on to hot topics then.
Oh, by the way, happy belated birthday to Rihanna.
So Raw saw a major jump. I like Riri too, but it had nothing to do with wrestling.
I have to do that. It's for her. Should be watching. You didn't see my Insta story?
I saw it, and
You saw us dancing in the club, toasted to the birthday. Nah, I mean that's what we do. All right, sorry. Hot topics.
Raw saw a major jump in ratings after Elimination Chamber to 2.7 million viewers.
I wonder why.
Is that sarcasm, or are you just saying I wonder why?
No, I kind of have an idea. It's kind of half and
idea?
half. Well, with Boston Hug winning the tag team titles and then with Finn Balor winning the IC title, it kind of seems like it's on in the coordinates.
I would say that's
the Usos winning the tag. Well, that's not for Raw, but
yeah. I mean, fan favorites winning, so now we want to see what happens next, right?
I kind of don't like the whole idea of giving titles to people that want to leave. I'm sorry.
Finn doesn't necessarily want to leave.
You don't know that.
You don't know that either.
I know, but I'm talking about the others.
We don't know if Sasha and Bayley
Nah,
want to actually
I'm not talking
leave.
about them.
So then, those are the two people. Those are
The
the
Usos
people.
won this past Sunday. And
Yes, but did you also?
The Revival won last week.
Yes, but you also saw. Did you actually listen to like John, and I'm gonna go with their stage name, Jimmy and Jay's. I didn't want to put their actual names out there. Jimmy and Jay's promo after they won. It was very emotional.
Nah, I didn't hear it.
It was very emotional, and I thought it like their actual, like the
You're
actual.
talking about on SmackDown.
No, Elimination Chamber.
Oh, no.
After they do the after the pay-per-view exclusive
on
whatever.
Twitter and stuff.
Yeah, like when they
Yeah,
showed
I
on
watched
WWE or whatever.
Yeah, I know.
It was a very emotional promo, and I think a lot like real life came into it. He's like, people make mistakes, and they try to count you out, whatever. Like, it was very emotional. You should listen to it. So maybe it's not necessarily that they want to leave, but there's just, I think everyone has frustrations at their jobs, right?
Yeah.
I think that's just ultimately it. And what's the problem with putting titles? I just bit my tongue. Titles on people that want to leave, right? Like, people, you got to demand, you like know your worth, right? You got to demand what you want. All this time, they've been like disregarding the tag team division, and now finally, when people step up, you do something. And for the past couple of weeks, we've seen really good matches, right?
We have seen very good matches.
That's a testament of these superstars standing up for themselves.
But we've seen good matches from these people before.
I understand that, but now we actually got it. We weren't getting it until these specific tag team superstars said something.
No, I'm not a fan of it. Paige,
why?
because it's just like, yo, I'm gonna complain and here, okay, just to calm you down a bit.
But then, what do
here's
you
the title.
want, though?
Just because they complain doesn't mean they need the title. It means to treat the division properly.
Okay, but honestly, though, freaking what's this guy, Bobby Roode and Chad Gable? They had they're not a real tag team. Like, let's stop putting titles on.
That's my line.
Teams that's not actually.
Hey, that's
teams.
my line.
Is it?
That is my line. You know that. That's my line.
I don't know. That's your line.
That is my line.
Anyway, But yeah.
That's a discussion for another time.
Paige blames fans for holding back the Divas division and not WWE. She caught some flack for it from fans and what have you, so she had to reiterate what she actually meant. So she stood by what she said, but she also said in a tweet, riddle me this. What about when the bra and panty matches were happening? Or when Michelle McCool and Gail Kim and Sedge were busting their asses? Why wasn't there an uproar then? All I'm saying is a two-way street.
I can see her point.
I don't see her point at all. Go ahead.
I can see her point. Only to the point because it's you can see it from both ways, right? WWE treated the Divas division like trash by giving them 2 minutes, giving them bra and panty matches and all these degrading situations, what have you, right? Mm-hmm. But sometimes the fans are a little, we know them. They too critical in certain situations. Like when AJ Lee and like she was saying, some of these people that was having pretty good matches, they were using those as bathroom breaks.
Right, but
so that made the WWE I just cut their time shorter since people are leaving during their matches.
Yeah, but this is that when you put that out there. See, first of all, I like Paige. I'm not saying anything about her specifically, but it just comes off as ultimately you're not going to talk bad about the company that you work for, right? So, because I'm pretty sure if she wasn't working with WWE, what she's saying right now would be completely different. Because keep it 100, right? This is the same company that, why? I mean, be honest with yourself. Keep it 100. Were people really supposed to be interested in a bra and panties match and take that seriously? Or when Vince and all of them were subjecting women as, sex candy or eye candy or whatever, and not taking them seriously as wrestlers, but just divas, right? Or just
that's what they was hiring.
Sex props, basically, right? So how can you expect a crowd to take that seriously, or not be fawning over them and not actually viewing them and looking at their talent?
No, and that's what I said. Is you can see from for me, I can see from both aspects. I'm not saying that she's completely
no. I'm not
right.
saying I'm not saying
yeah.
you. I'm just saying
her.
My issue with what she's saying.
Right.
As soon as women like her and AJ Lee, and then the Four Horsewomen and all these girls started, you actually saw wrestlers and the culture was changing. People took notice to that, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? And when Gail Kim was on TNA or Impact, whatever, and having great matches over there, people were engaged in that because they were actually matches and not subjecting women as just eye candy.
Well, when Gail Kim was with WWE, two people was not very happy with the position she was in anyway.
But that's what I'm. But then it ultimately goes down to
what kind of matches they put him in.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
Because again, when you put people like that in better positions, such as like I said, TNA, Impact Wrestling, you're engaged. So you can't sit there and blame the fans if this is what you're putting out.
Yeah, nah, that's where she's wrong. You can't put the whole blame on the fans. It's like she said, it's both. It's half and half in a way.
And then ultimately, the fans didn't say, "Oh, give them 2-minute matches." This was how they booked them.
Yeah.
So if you what am I?
Well, in my opinion, I think the 2-minute matches started happening when they started realizing people are leaving or changing the channel when their matches came on. So it was like, all right, let's make this quick so we won't lose the audience to Monday Night Football or going to the bathroom during the show and that stuff. That's what kind of led to the 2-minute matches. But again, it just led to because the way you was booking them in the first place and the people that you were hiring. So it still falls in your lap a bit. So.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think you have to blame the company for that. But moving on, according to Dave Meltzer, if Ronda Rousey does leave, the plan is to push 3 women: Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Lacey Evans. How do you feel about that?
Why Lacey Evans?
Never mind Lacey Evans. Where's the diversity?
That too. No, definitely. That's when you say I'm looking at it like.
like I said, I don't even mind the fact that Lacey Evans is getting a push.
But she hasn't even done nothing.
But you're gonna have to start somewhere, right? So if you decide to pick someone has a good look and a good gimmick, which I think she does, okay, that's someone new. That's someone new, and you push them and build them up, so she can do something. But my point is, Becky's gonna have to get pushed, right? Because she's just hot, right?
Charlotte, why Charlotte? I already know why me and you spoke about this off the show. They're going to do as much as they can with Charlotte as fast as they can because her time is very limited.
Why is her time? But why is her time very limited?
Because in their minds, not everybody's going to be AJ Styles.
Okay.
In terms of like going deep into their 30s and 40s to wrestle. If I'm not mistaken, Charlotte is close to like 33.
I mean, but Becky's 32. Like, I don't even think it has anything to do with that. I think
they're trying to mirror her career to
exactly.
her father.
That's what it comes down to.
32. She's 32.
Right. Becky, Ronda, like they're all more or less in the same age.
Ronda doesn't count.
But what I'm saying is, regardless, that I don't think age has anything to do with that.
No. What I'm saying is with her age and trying to match up between her age and trying to match her career.
But again, I don't.
Her dad.
I don't think the age has anything to do with it. It just comes down to the fact who her father is. Period. Because there's no reason to. So after WrestleMania is done, right, and she's gonna lose, right? Because we'll talk about it in one of the other hot topics. So what is she getting pushed for after that, right? And then where's the diversity?
No, definitely. There's no diversity in this whatsoever.
It's just like you can't keep doing that. Like, who do I identify with? Right? Like, you have the audience, like the WWE Universe is a diverse audience.
And even to switch lanes a little bit, when is Asuka gonna get her real push?
Yeah, because again, if you're high on Asuka, you gave her the title. Okay, so what is she doing?
Won the Royal Rumble.
She won the Royal Rumble. Yeah, like now she has all these accolades, but it doesn't mean much because you didn't really push her like that. Again, where's the diversity? You can't keep like, you know what I mean? Like, who does like little girls that are Black, Hispanic, Asian identify with?
This is.
I mean, and I'm not to say that they can't identify with Becky, Charlotte, or Lacey. I'm not saying it. You know what I mean? But damn.
Give us a shot in the dark.
Please.
At one point during the Royal Rumble, they even made a mention that Charlotte Flair and Lacey Evans are basically the same person.
It's so, like, give me something different. Lacey, cool. But throw other people in there. Anyway, Ty Dillinger requested his release from WWE, and he posted his reasonings on social media.
On his birthday, too, right?
Yes.
Or the day after, was it?
No, I think it was on his birthday because earlier that day, Peyton.
I didn't know they was dating or they were engaged. That's crazy.
You didn't know they were
Shout out to them.
Oh, okay. Well.
I don't really follow that kind of world.
Okay.
I used to watch Total Divas and stuff, but I kind of cut back because I couldn't take too much Bella.
Anyway, so Ty Dillinger requested his release. What did you think about that?
Writing on the wall. He's been in the company for over a decade. Like, he was there when Shawn Michaels and Triple H were still doing DX stuff. Like, it was right. It's time for him. Like, they're not using you.
Has it been over a decade? Because he said, like, the past 5 years.
He says 5 years because of the whole NXT thing and the whole 10 gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
But he was Shawn that got keys. When Shawn Michaels kicked the dude backstage with the head.
Yes. Okay.
And that was when he was with FCW.
Yeah.
So he's been with the company for over a decade.
Yeah.
And then when he finally make it to the main roster,
you do absolutely nothing.
They shut you down because they don't like your 10 count.
And it's like, okay, so then find a new gimmick.
And then apparently he'd been cleared, but they just told him that they had nothing for him. So he's been home for the past couple of months because they don't have nothing for him.
That's insane.
So I ride it on the wall. There's other opportunities out here now. And
but then for that matter, why call him up?
So best believe, Cody Rhodes actually tweeted him, was like, yo, don't be scared to take chances.
According to Mike Johnson, the PW Insider, the feelings backstage of the NXT call-ups were talent was in fear of maybe possibly losing their spots, but there wasn't resentment, just fear of like what's gonna happen with them essentially. No one had any knowledge of these call-ups. Apparently, Triple H and Vince McMahon are at odds in regards to all of this. Obviously, Triple H is going to be hyped because those are his proteges in a sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, not his proteges, but, his babies, right?
Right.
Whereas Vince is more skeptical, wants them to prove their worth or what have you. But on the same note, Vince wanted to call up the NXT superstars because he feels like the current superstars are stale and they need new superstars. So which one is it? You want new superstars or you're skeptical about them because what? I'm confused. Which one is it?
Triple H is trying to buy time.
Buy time for what?
For when Vince disappears for the XFL.
But besides all of that,
Like,
we know that. We know that's going to happen. But
right.
Besides all of that, just I don't like
Vince, because you know what it is? I'll be honest with you. A lot of the NXT guys are not Vince's typical superstars.
right.
They're high flying. They're, built, regular size. So Vince doesn't really see money with them.
Yeah.
But he feel like, we need new stars on here because I'm tired of looking at the same people probably.
But it's going to be the same pattern, right? Okay, we'll bring up all these guys. They're dope. Yeah, people are hot on them, and then you don't know what to do with them. Like, I don't understand how you have a team of people that the name of that team is creative, but you have nothing to write for the superstars that you have already. That's nobody's fault but you guys. You don't give them the right storylines or what have you or something to do. So, yeah,
Right.
well, of course they're going to be stale. So, are you going to do the same thing to
The
these
new
call-ups?
NXT guys, yeah. Because to be honest, like you said, like we bring up Asuka, we bring up Ascension, like so many people that came up from NXT that
And it's just literally sitting there.
that had so much potential, and then you did nothing with them.
And let's keep it recent. Nikki Cross, you have Heavy Machinery, you have EC3.
Still didn't put them to a brand.
EC3, like they're literally not doing anything. Lars Sullivan, I know there was some stuff about him, but still, it's just
like, why didn't Nikki Cross come out with Sanity? At this point, just let her go to her brothers. Like, that's what everybody's been waiting on.
well, and her man.
Well, her brothers and husband. My
Yeah.
bad. But
Put
yeah,
some respect on her.
my
marriage.
bad. I'll stay in the storyline. But like, yeah, everybody. That's what everybody's waiting for.
Yeah.
Everybody knows she's going to SmackDown, so just do it.
Do we? Because apparently we have no idea what's going on with these call-ups.
Anyway, according to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, Tommaso Ciampa is reportedly fine after his match against the Bar, and so is Sheamus.
Did you see?
His knee buckle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That had me scared. And then did Sheamus throw up the X?
Sheamus threw up the X?
Apparently. So that's why, because the whole thing
Yeah.
Sheamus had with, I forget the disorder he had.
His neck.
Stenosis, I think it's called, something like that.
Yeah, I think so. With his neck, he has to be very careful.
Yeah. So, but he said he was fine.
Okay.
So, good.
According to Dave Meltzer, the plan originally for Asuka was to face Lacey Evans at WrestleMania. That idea has been taken off the table, but not completely.
Well, I know you're not here for that. I mean, again, if it was something where Lacey Evans was booked, like you built her up from like maybe December or something,
Right.
to now, sure.
All she's been doing is coming out and walking. Even her appearance at Royal Rumble was not impressive. You could tell, you could see she was nervous. So why would you put her in a match at WrestleMania?
Yeah.
She could barely do a kip up. She was so nervous.
According to Dave Meltzer, Becky Lynch is currently Vince McMahon's chosen one.
She's not.
He he didn't necessarily care how inconsistent her storyline is. Right, he doesn't care how inconsistent the storyline is right now, but the goal is to obviously push her.
That's not Vince's chosen one. That's our chosen one. Like, we chose her. And then Vince was like, oh.
Yeah.
Like,
his golden girl is Miss Flair.
And Miss Bliss.
Well, they're technically not really doing much for Bliss right now.
Because of the backlash, people was complaining too much. Like, yo,
Is that, well, Charlotte's still in the picture.
But that's Rick's daughter. They got a plan for her, a 10-year plan for her to make her catch up to her dad.
Listen, ultimately, Vince is gonna do what he wants. So I wouldn't be surprised we see in the tail end of the year, Charlotte, Lacey, Mandy, and Alexa all get some type of push.
Yeah, this year not over yet.
At all, it just started.
Let's see what happens after Black History Month ends.
Fun fact. Here's a little fun fact. After Sasha Banks and Bayley's inaugural win at Elimination Chamber, the 4 horsewomen each are the first winners of each current women's championship that's currently on the main roster.
That's not surprising.
Applaud. Well, I don't know. Why do you say it's not surprising?
Because they're the forefront of this women's, like the whole women's revolution, in my opinion.
Yes, but like Becky, like before she became the man, right? She was the one that wasn't really pushed in regards to the 4 horsewomen. So did you really see her winning the SmackDown Women's title?
Yeah, when they split, yeah.
I didn't necessarily see her winning. Yes, I know they drafted her first in regards to the women.
Not only that, because she was the only horsewoman over there.
Okay, but they also pushed anyway. But that's besides the point. But again, with Sasha and Bayley, like ultimately we knew that was the consolation prize after messing their 2018 up. But still, like you said, right? You thought that there could have been a chance that there was a swerve that they might not have won. So it's not necessarily that's not surprising.
I know, but again, like once the tag team titles were announced, we already knew.
I understand that, but like you just said, for Elimination Chamber, you said that there was a small part of you that felt that maybe they might not win, and I thought the same too, just because Sasha and Bayley's push.
Right.
So it's not necessarily like, yeah, that's a given.
I'm not saying it's a given. I said I'm not surprised. There's a difference.
Is there?
Yeah.
How?
Because I'm not surprised that it's dumb. Like, if it wasn't dumb, okay, but I'm not surprised it is dumb. It's aside from it's a given. I'm not saying it had to be them. Like, oh my God, it didn't happen because if it didn't happen, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, it should have just been them. It's just like I'm not surprised. Like they're the best wrestlers on the roster.
Yes, I understand what you're saying in regards to okay, they are the best wrestlers in regards to the women, but just because you're the best doesn't mean that's the case.
Yeah, with those girls, I feel like they.
Anyway, Stone Cold was a guest on Fight Nation, and when asked what he thought of Becky Lynch being currently compared to him, he said, "She does remind me a lot of myself because, I mean, if you line up that women's roster and you said, hey, I want you pick my next breakout superstar, I don't think you're going to pick out Becky Lynch, and I damn sure know you wouldn't have picked me out of a lineup. So nonetheless, she has willed herself. She has worked her ass off, studied the game, and come around, and she's been got the hot. She's been cooled off. Then she got a little attitude behind her. She got ticked off and said, hey, man, I'm going to be a star. What do you think by that?
I mean, I don't know what to say. That's Stone Cold's opinion. It's only, like everybody says, it just took a while for Becky to find her lane, I guess.
Do you compare her to Stone Cold?
I don't really, not so much, but I hate that the fact they're trying to make it that comparison. You see WWE trying to push that way.
I saw the comparison, especially for Survivor Series. We titled one of our episodes Becky 316 because she had a Austin 316 type moment.
Well, that's what everybody was saying.
We all were saying that.
I wasn't saying it.
We titled the episode Becky 316
because that's what everybody was saying. That's what my opinion was. To me, I don't like doing too much of like. I could say that you could be the next Stone Cold and you next Shawn Michaels, whatever. But I'm not gonna say, oh, you're this current generation's.
That's not what I said. I said she had her Austin 316 moment is what I'm saying. So that like just rebellion, that's like everything that Stone Cold did is what Becky's doing right now. That was cool. That because it was organic, right? We just saw it out of nowhere. And with Nia breaking her nose, it just amped everything up. It just added, to that. But now, like you said, I agree. They are doing it a little too much, right? Like now they're really trying to recreate Stone Cold with her, like the whole coming out in the crowd and just rebelling against authority and then security taking her out. Yeah, if you do especially if Vince is saying, "Oh, that's the chosen one," and now you making her go through a whole bunch of different obstacles,
just to make it to WrestleMania.
Exactly.
Kind of like how when they made Stone Cold be #1 in the Royal Rumble for the WWF title, and Vince was end up winning the title.
Or when they built up The Rock and he wound up being, the corporate Rock basically just to get into Stone Cold's way. So you see it's happening, and that's the thing. WWE doesn't know how to be organic anymore.
Nah.
Right? It's just they just don't let things happen naturally. It's everything is about, okay, yeah, we're gonna continue to push this person, even though people don't want this person. Let's keep pushing this person. Oh, they like this. We're getting money off of that. So let's keep pushing that until we get tired of it.
You know what I would like to see?
Huh?
You know what I would have loved to see? When I seen Triple H come out this past week?
Yeah.
I would have loved to see him stick up for Becky Lynch. Because at the end of the day, she did apologize, and he was willing to put her back in the match, and it was Vince that came out and called the audible. And you kind of could see that Triple H and Steph was kind of annoyed by that.
But what does that do for the storyline?
It does, it doesn't directly put it into a Stone Cold story mode. Mm. It put it into its own now, because now it's all right, Triple H is sticking up for Becky now against Vince, kind of situation.
Yeah, but then now that takes away from what's happening with Becky.
No, because
now the issues between Triple H and Stephanie against Vince.
But then they still have their fighting champion or their person that's gonna represent them. They're not gonna go in the ring themselves. You know what I'm saying? I just would have loved to see, because it would have been different. Because him just to ignore it and just act like it never happened. When you see they was annoyed, Vince just came out and gave it to Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I think it would have been nice to see, all right, we're supposed to be a united front to give the people what they want situation, and this was the ripple that happened. And then maybe we see Shane help his father. If you're gonna put the McMahons and Helmsley into it, they can't be happy-go-lucky the entire time. I'm sorry.
I feel you. Christian gives advice to wrestlers wanting to jump ship to AEW. He was interviewed by Talk Sport, and his advice was, if you're willing to bet on yourself, then sometimes it works out. And if you believe in yourself and your abilities, that will be the case. I think that's the case with a lot of wrestlers currently, right?
Yeah. They want to bet on themselves. Can't get mad if you want to bet on yourself.
I can't get mad at that. It's just, again, I'm excited for AEW, but I also don't want people to get ahead of themselves, right?
Not everybody's going to be a top star.
Say that again?
Not everybody's going to be a top star.
Not everyone's going to be a top star, and it's not going to necessarily work. Who knows? Maybe they do eventually overtake WWE. I don't know. I'm just saying, right? But maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's another WCW or maybe even another TNA. Not to say that's going to happen, but you just never know.
I don't think it's going to be another TNA.
I'm not saying that.
No, I'm saying I don't think there could ever be another TNA.
Listen, you never know. You really don't know. Anyway, DX.
Break it down.
Ew. DX is the first inductees this year's Hall of Fame.
I love it.
All members, including China, will be inducted. Triple H was interviewed by ESPN and said, look, people believe what they want to believe. When I said a few years ago on Austin's podcast, there's complexities around it, but absolutely, this is in regards to China, but absolutely, definitely deserves to be in there. It'd be tough to pick a female that was more impactful on the business. She did something that was completely so out of left field that it wasn't even being considered when we first brought it up for her to come in. I don't know if you want to finish the rest.
From the standpoint, absolutely 100% deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. It should probably be more than once as a group, but individually as well. There's more complexity to that meets the eye, but here we are. I'm just happy that it's here.
Which is it. I think we're all happy, and I agree that she definitely should be inducted by herself. That's gonna be the really the coming of all of this. This beef between her and WWE, when she actually gets inducted by herself.
Right.
And again, we've had this conversation and debate quite a few times. I still think it's pretty unfortunate that it had to happen after she passed away, but yeah.
Yeah, and for fans, it's like, oh, this doesn't count. It counts. Like, to be honest, X-Pac's not even in there yet, and this is his first way to getting in. Like,
Do you think he would get in individually?
yeah.
Okay.
If a few people that's already in there are in there, X-Pac's gonna get his time. I'm not saying he's as impactful as the other Click members, but he played a prominent role in a lot of the '90s wrestling.
No, he did. He did. For me, I don't know if I actually viewed him as a Hall of Famer, at least as a singles wrestler.
And even when he was in DX,
That's what I said. As a singles wrestler, I don't know yes, he was hot. Like, he was actually a very popular DX member.
Right.
But he was a popular DX member. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
for me, just his impact as a singles wrestler. Like, I know he was a European champion.
Right.
But
I think
again,
he held the IC title once. Again, I feel like he's gonna eventually get in there. But yeah, take it for what it is. Like, when they're ready to put China in, they'll put China in. Like, people making it seem like, like we said, we had this discussion before, and my opinion has always been the same. Like, you can't get mad at them when they were already beefing while she was alive. Even though she was trying to reconnect with them, unfortunately, it didn't happen in time.
But I'm stuttering. I can't get my words out. This is what the conversation we had before, like, numerous of times.
Right.
Why does it have to come down to, like, someone not being here for them to amend whatever issues that they had?
But a lot of times it's not on them only. Because remember, with that one, it was China who was like, she was kind of flip-flop because of her medicine or whatever she said. One minute she'll be like, all right, let's make amends. Next minute she'll say something negative about them again. And the next minute she's trying to go into the building.
Yes, but look how far she had to go for that to happen.
What?
In regards to just, like, her downward spiral, right? Like, her downward spiral had a lot to do with because how things ended with WWE or WWF at the time. So, I mean, like, this is the constant trend. Like, for example, like, just for someone like CM Punk, right? Who knows when that will ever be repaired, if it will ever be repaired. And then, God forbid, years from now, he's not here anymore. And then, oh, yes, we love CM Punk. Like, you can't keep doing that with people. That's just my point.
Yeah, but that's people in general in life. Like, I'm like you.
True.
Like, even right now, what I'm going through is like I see a lot of like beefs that happen, and it's like, yo, why do people still beef so much? Like, I was just having this conversation with my mom yesterday. I'm like, why do people still hold grudges and stuff like that? Life is so short, so short. Like, I don't understand this whole concept of holding grudges. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, and I mean, and bringing it back to wrestling, like, you see how so many like the documentaries they have, especially like for like the Hall of Fame,
right?
Like, you have like Hunter has to call this person to amend whatever was broken between Vince and that superstar. You know what I mean? It's crazy because you guys are like so much older, right? You know what I mean? I don't know. With all that said, she's in the Hall of Fame. They're in the Hall of Fame. Would you go to it?
Huh?
Would you go to it?
Oh no, I'm gonna be a supercard.
You're still going to Supercard?
Oh no, I'll be at Supercard.
I'm not going to Supercard. Anyway.
Why would I go to Supercard?
I don't know, because, like, more of the wrestlers that people wanted to see is not going to be there.
People, not me. I still want to go see Okada. I still want to go see Naito. I still want to go see Jay White. I still want to go see Guerrillas of Destiny. I still have people that I still watch over there. Shout out to Jay White, yo. He won the IWGP Championship.
Question of the night.
Damn, you gonna just disregard the man winning the heavyweight title?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
So fast?
He's come a long way.
Right?
He is definitely.
I gotta watch the match though. I haven't had a chance to watch it, but shout out to him. That's a very big feat that he did.
Absolutely.
Did there.
He's definitely come a long way, especially now being the leader of
Bullet Club for life.
Cutthroat era.
All right, Mark. Question of the night. How do you feel about the NXT call-ups, and was it the right decision or was it like a has decision?
No, it was the right decision. This is something we've discussed before. Okay. Like, even if it's not an official call-up, but a presentation, like I said, sometimes you have to bring those NXT people around so people from the regular WWE audience. I don't know what to call them, but the regulars that doesn't watch NXT, that doesn't watch, New Japan and all that extra stuff. They just watch WWE product. Mm-hmm. You have to introduce them to these NXT people somehow so that when they do get called up, they're like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, entice them to watch NXT. So I think from time to time, I like the idea of having NXT people pop up. Just like sometimes WWE people pop up in NXT. Why don't you have them pop up sometimes and, show what they could do?
Yeah. I agree. I think bigger stars should actually show up on NXT. Like, we'll see next week. Spoiler alert. But
I don't think that's next week, but
in the next couple of weeks. Whatever. But the point is, like, we're gonna see that coming. But I'm on the fence in regards to it. I'm definitely happy that we've seen some NXT calls, actually people that we want to see.
Right.
I think it was just so
random.
Not random, but also like there was no excitement behind it. Like even when Triple H started off Raw, it was just like very. This is who's getting called up, blah blah blah. I don't know. It was just something like normally, like when everyone else gets called up and then their music hits and there's a pop, right? Like I would have loved more of a surprise as opposed to like, okay,
look
we're
out for
put
these
graphics
people.
up, then this is who's coming up.
No, I definitely agree with that. The way they executed was not that great, but again, like they said, Triple H didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
So I don't think he had much time to brainstorm it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would have been dope just to hear. Just like, yo, throughout the night, we got some surprises for you guys.
Not even. I hate the fact that we let people know that there's a surprise.
No,
just surprises.
No, because you kind of have to do that in a business stance. Because then people like starts tweeting about it. People that wasn't gonna plan to watch Raw that night is gonna be like, oh snap, what they got going on?
Okay.
Let me turn to it. You know what I'm saying? And then randomly through the night, you just hear music hitting.
Yeah, and then it just like, it was cool. Definitely cool to see Finn and Ricochet tag. But at the same time, I think I would have preferred them not to tag. You know what I mean?
They have a Ricochet versus Finn match.
Which is funny. That's what Triple H wanted. But then he decided against it because he didn't want two faces going against each other. And that's what I meant to mention in regards to having two faces.
Well, they could have had Bobby and Leo trash them and cause a double DQ. I don't see the big... we've seen face versus face before in a friendly competition.
That's not what he wanted.
Friendly competition is fun sometimes.
Yeah, but I think, but I think when someone's debuting, you kind of want him to go against the big bad bully before you actually like have a friendly match with another face. I think that's a better showing as opposed to doing that.
You know what?
Because then, like, if you have someone like Ricochet, you see what he can do. And now you're like, oh, now all the dream matches will play in your head. Like, oh, maybe Ricochet and Finn, Ricochet and this person, as opposed to just giving it right off the bat.
What was your favorite, outside of Sasha, what was your favorite call-up surprise?
It's outside of Sasha. I did like the women's call-up.
That's it? You gonna go with the women's call-up?
Kevin Owens was dope when he faced John Cena.
That's the first thing that pops into my mind.
Yeah, that was dope. That was very
perfect.
Dope. I think that pop was like crazy too.
Like for the NXT champion to pop up on John Cena.
Sami Zayn. Surprise.
But that got ruined for me.
Why?
Because he couldn't have the match.
Oh, because he
popped the show out of place.
He was injured. Yeah. Who else? Paige was cool.
I didn't know who Paige was, so it was just like,
Yeah, but that was still cool.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and then just the 3 out of 4 horsemen was pretty cool. I know you said outside of Sasha, but that was because then you saw the actual change happening in regards to the Divas resolution.
And some people don't notice like CM Punk and John Cena has been at NXT too.
When they were
champions and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I would love to, like you said, just to wrap everything up, love to see them go on to different brands, right?
Yeah.
Like NXT going to Raw and SmackDown from time to time, and the stars on the main roster show up on NXT just to spice things a little bit up. Just because I think it's at a moment right now where it's like Vince, like they said, Vince feels things are stale.
Right.
Right. which is his own
work.
But whatever.
Can we go back and watch NXT together, a throwback NXT?
Well, every time I invite you to do something, and come over and have some Spanish food and all this other jazz.
You don't come to Jersey either.
I'm not gonna go to Jersey.
See, I'm not gonna go. I
But
never said I'm not coming to Queens. I just don't want to go to Queens because you're not gonna come to Jersey.
But I invited you. You're gonna get cooked. You're gonna have a cooked meal.
You'd have a cooked meal at my house too.
Yeah, but I've been to your house before.
For 2 seconds, so we could
For
go.
2 seconds.
To go to freaking Prudential Center.
No. Remember that one time we were there, we were watching something, and then we had Taco Bell, and I told you let's go back again because I want more tacos.
That was one time. We was getting ready to go to the Prudential Center.
No, it was later. We left Prudential Center.
Oh, that's when we was shooting the commercial.
No. See how many times I go to Jersey to hang out with you?
That wasn't to hang out. That was business.
Yes, but it was late and
we hung out one time.
It was late and we had anyway. That's our show.
Wait. When was this? What did you come out here for? It was for Prudential Center.
Yeah, so we probably went to Backlash or something, and then we chilled at your house for a little bit and ate Taco Bell.
Yeah, but see, you came out for Backlash. You didn't came out to hang.
But we hung out. I could have just went home.
That's because you was tired.
That is our show. Thank you for listening and watching. I am Jenna, a.k.a. Miss Jenna Baby, BAYBEE, and this is...
Blue Magic Grind, spelled how it sounds.
You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
At The Mixed Tag Show.
Yes. Anything else you have to say?
If you want to go ahead and purchase some nice clothing from WWE Shop, like I'm wearing right now, go ahead and click on our link tree in our bios or in the description right here in the YouTube. Also, don't forget to get on it with On It by using the code TMTS, and also collar and elbow code TMTS. Anything you'd like to add before we close out?
I don't like you.
And on that note, I bid you adieu, goodbye, mwah, and good night.
There you go. Pull the trigger.
It's the Mixed Tag Show.
Mixed Tag Show.
With Jenna and Blue.